welcome back to Mrs. Waller's Little Library. And today we're going to be reading Goldilocks and the Three Bears by Lisette Starr. In a large estate house by the edge of the wood lived a rich little girl who thought that she should get every last thing that her heart desired, regardless of whether that thing was required. She had rooms full of shoes and glittering dresses, and servants to run around and clean up her messes. And while she was pretty, with a stunning gold hair, she wasn't that nice, and she just didn't care about anyone else, no matter their woes. She just ignored them and keep buying clothes. Goldilocks was no angel, it was plain to see, and her sister despaired of what might come to be. If she didn't abandon her entitled ways, she'd surely find trouble in her future days. One sunny day, in a light summer breeze, Goldilocks went on a walk through the trees when she spied with her eyes at the end of the track a cottage so cute she was taken back. "Oh my," she said, "the house looks so sweet. Maybe there's something inside I could eat. Perhaps they got berries or honey patch slice." So she climbed in the window and didn't think twice. Oh no, right next to the stove, fresh out of the pot, there were three bowls of porridge, but one was too hot. One was so cold it was practically freezing, but the small bowl was warm and she found it quite pleasing. So she gobbled it up and she went off to look at the three wooden chairs in the fireside nook. She climbed on the big one, but it was too high, so she gave the soft chair in the middle a try. But it was too squishy for someone so slight. But the small chair looked perfect. Yes, it was just right. But when she sat down on the tiny wee chair, it broke into pieces, but she didn't care. Oh. She decided she'd much rather have a quick snooze, so she tried out the beds to see which one she'd choose. The big bed was huge and uncomfortably firm. The next one was spongy and made her toes squirm. But the small bed was such a joyous delight that she tucked herself in as if it was her right. Goldilocks closed her eyes and began counting sheep. In less than 5 minutes, she was fast asleep. When the three bears returned home from their stroll, the papa bear noticed a spoon in his bowl. "Someone's been at my porridge," the papa bear growled. "Someone's been at mine too," the mama bear scowled. Then the baby bear cried with a deafening roar, "Someone's eating my porridge and there's no more." Then Papa Bear noticed his chair had been moved. "Someone's been on my chair, and I do not approve." "They've been on mine too." Mama Bear was annoyed. Then Baby Bear bellowed, "My chair's been destroyed." So the bears crept upstairs to check no one was there, but the big bed looked rumpled and made without care. The middle bed's pillows had been rearranged, and the small bed looked lumpy, which was rather strange. Dun dun dun. When the lump started snoring, the bears got a shock to find a young girl in a pretty pink frock was asleep in their house. No, they were not alone. Yes, the chair breaking vandal was still in their home. Mama Bear gasped. Baby Bear started weeping, while Goldilocks snored as she just kept on sleeping. When Papa Bear growled, "What are you doing here?" Goldilocks woke and was trembling with fear. She jumped out of bed and ran all the way home and decided in future that she would not roam alone in the woods where those scary bears dwell, for what bears might do no one could foretell. Goldilocks had been home for less than an hour when the sheriff came knocking and he had looked quite dour. "Miss Goldilocks, we have had a complaint that you went to the bear's house and without restraint. You ate their child's breakfast and broke a small chair and slept in their beds, but she just didn't care. I was hungry and tired, so I ate and I slept." The sheriff just sighed. "Well, you have overstepped. You can't break into homes and eat others' food or damage their chairs. It is quite beyond rude." Goldilocks shrugged and said, "Nobody cares about the complaints of some silly brown bears compared to a rich girl with ribbons and bows. Bears do not matter, as everyone knows." The sheriff looked stern and said, That is not so. And if they press charges, I think you should know that you'll be in big trouble for breaking the law, as the bears are quite certain it was you that they saw. But luckily for you, the bears are quite sweet and they like helping others with nothing to eat. They run a soup kitchen, and if you'll assist, all of the charges they'll gladly dismiss. When Goldilocks realized the bears were so nice, she felt rather bad that she hadn't thought twice about stealing their food and breaking their chairs, and she thought maybe she should be more like those bears. So Goldilocks helped the bears, helped those in need, and found helping others was better than greed. For she felt quite surprisingly joyous and grateful to be helping the hungry with every last plateful. And so she decided she would change her ways and look to help others throughout all her days. Wow. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. How'd you guys like this version of Goldilocks and the Three Bears?
It was good, but Goldilocks was kind of selfish and being mean.
She was being selfish, and yeah, she was kind of snobby, right? She was mean. Yeah, she wasn't nice to others because all she cared about was what?
Herself.
Herself. And what else? They named a few things.
Her dress.
Yeah, her clothes, remember? And her bows. Yes, awesome job. Thank you guys for listening. And thank you guys out there for listening as well. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on the notification button so you don't miss any of our read alouds. Bye, you guys. Signing out. Mrs. Waller's Little Library.